In this video, I'm going to be chatting all about my plans for what I'm going to grow and what I'm going to sow for the 2021 year ahead up here on the allotment. I've also got a few other bits and bobs to take care of, so stay tuned for all of that. But in the meantime, I just need to give a few of my herbs a little spring haircut and take care of a few things. So see you on the other side. Thanks so much for tuning in. So I'm Tim and this is my Carbon Coach, channel all about allotment life, sustainability, all of that kind of good stuff. So welcome back. If you're not new here, welcome if you're new, and let's dive straight in. I've had a really busy couple of weeks since the last video. I've had an awful lot of university work to do. We're coming to the end, so close. So the 2nd of June is when my last final sort of dissertation level work gets handed in. So really close to that. And I've been busy with lots of my Carbon Coach things as well. Some very exciting developments have been going on actually, so I'll fill you in on those. Some of you may know that I run a litter picking group called Tidy Up Taunton, and what I've done alongside one of my friends who also runs a litter picking group here in Taunton is organised a big Taunton spring clean. So it's something that we're really excited about, and we've planned it in for the first week in April to tie in with the Easter holidays for the kids. So it's a week-long event, and hopefully we're going to get lots and lots of people out and about in Taunton picking up litter, making it beautiful, so that when we fully come out of lockdown it's going to look immaculate, fingers crossed, and everyone will have a beautiful lovely town to enjoy. So there's details to the event that's on Facebook down below, so please check that out if you are local to the area. I'm also just about to launch my very first product. So I've had some cotton tote bags made up with Tidy Up Taunton on the side, which I'm really excited about. So they have actually arrived, as you can see, demonstrated by my beautiful wife. What a model. And they're going to be going on sale very shortly, with all proceeds either paying for the stock, obviously, and then going into sort of my litter picking antics, like paying for more litter grabbers and things like that. And so they'll be on sale through my website, mycarboncoach.co.uk, if you're interested and want to look at that. In terms of allotment life, obviously the weather's been absolutely awful, and it's still not a lovely day today either. It's pretty grey, overcast. It's been threatening to rain all day, but the wind's been awful, the rain's been awful, so I just haven't really been up here, to be honest. However, back at base I have sown some seeds, so I've got some propagators out, and remember to take them home because they were in the back in the shed here. So I've got all of my different varieties of chilli seeds have now been sown. I've sown some loofah seeds, which was exciting. That was one of the recommendations from my competition video, asking people to recommend what you're going to be growing. And as of when this video comes out, I will have sown my sweet pea seeds, but at the moment they're just sort of soaking in water overnight, so that will be done. And I've got so many sweet pea seeds, it's unbelievable. And that was the seeds that I got from the floral project, and if you're unsure what that is, then there's a link going to be somewhere up at the top for you to check that video out, because that was a really exciting find. So I've got all of my fingers crossed for the seeds to do well at home in the propagators. I really hope so, and then they'll be brought up here as and when the time is right. So yeah, cross your fingers for me too. So what we're all here for, and what this video is about, is to see the plan of the allotment and exactly what I'm looking to grow. So this is what the allotment's looking like from one corner, and I'm just going to talk you through what I'm going to put in each bed as a sort of loose plan. Things are subject to change and adapt as and when I come up with new ideas or things don't go well. So we're going to start with the bed that's furthest away from the shed, in the newest bed. And what we're going to be looking at first is that's kind of going to be the permanent veg and fruit. So that's going to be the things that are going to come back each year. So first up is some asparagus, and I've never grown asparagus before, and I don't think I've ever really eaten it, to be honest, much, but I really fancy some. So yeah, I'm going to get hold of some asparagus, and that's going to be first thing in that bed. Next then is strawberries, and these stay in the ground obviously and continue for as long as they are healthy. So some of that bed is going to be dedicated to strawberries. And then just at the top, sort of on the edge of the plot, we're going to have a rhubarb, and that's one of the things that I picked up from Wilco's the other week. So that bed is pretty much all ready to go. It actually just needs filling in real life with a bit more soil and compost. Bed number 2 then is going to kick off with some leeks. Absolutely love leeks, love a good chicken and leek pie, to be honest. So to be able to home make that with some of my own veg will be wonderful. Close by to the leeks, I'm going to sow some spinach. I absolutely love spinach. It's one of the vegetables that I really do get along with, and apparently as a very young child it was all I used to eat. So there is that. If I've got space and the inclination to, I'm going to give radishes another go, and I'm going to get some chard in there, some rainbow chard for the gram. It looks beautiful, so yeah, shows up really well in photos. Then something I really want to try is sweet potatoes, so I'm going to read up on sort of sweet potato slips and getting those stuck in at the end of bed number 2. And then bed number 3 is half of it is going to be taken up with Charlotte potatoes, and they're going to be going in very soon, ready to be harvested sort of hopefully around July time. So that's going to be really cool. What I haven't planned is what's going to go in that space after July. So if you have any suggestions what to follow potatoes with, then please let me know. Next to that, I'm going to sow some carrots. I'm going to sow some purple ones and some orange ones as well. Then we've got some parsnips on the go. I absolutely adore parsnips, whether that's roasted with honey, or what I like to do is ribbon them with a carrot peeler and then cook that into some tagliatelle and a bit of butter. Absolutely delicious. Finishing up that bed is going to be the cauliflowers that I bought, the Romanesco cauliflowers, the sort of trippy, hallucinogenic, sort of spirally patterned ones. Then just quickly, before we flip the view around and take a look at the remaining beds, I just wanted to mention my Patreon. So it's a way of helping my carbon coach to grow, and just recently I've invested in upgrading my filming equipment. So I've got myself a brand new microphone and utilising proper camera and a tripod instead of just my phone. So that's an exciting upgrade. And other things like the Tidy Up Taunton litter picking. So I recently just used some Patreon money to make some business cards to hand out to people if they come up and start speaking to us whilst we're out on a litter pick, and it gives them all the details of where to find us online. If you'd like to join my Patreon and become a part of the gang, just like these lovely people, and then there's links down in the description, and you'd be very welcome, and I'd be very grateful. And then back to the plot. So from this end of the plot, bed 4 is already full up. It's got all of my onions, both white onions and red onions. The red onions seem to be coming on quite slowly, and it's got all of my garlics in, well, 2 different types of garlic in, but this is going to start to empty sort of around May or June time. So what I'm going to do is replace that with the squashes and pumpkins. I was very late in starting those off last year. I think I started them at around July, sort of towards the end of July actually, into August, and that was far too late. So if I start them sort of June-ish time, then that should give them plenty of time to be ready for autumn and Halloween. Then as we work through the herb beds, so quite a lot of this is in place and is going to stay the same as it has done for the past year. So we've got our lemon curd thyme and our barbecue rosemary and hot and spicy oregano in the first bed, and that's going to be joined with some kind of tarragon, which I'm really excited to start growing. Then in the second herb bed, we've got our regular rosemary, regular thyme, and we've got some sage, and that is also where I planted my elephant garlic. So I don't think I've really got any space in that one to add anything more. And then finally in the third herb bed, which I actually used for rocket and for radishes last summer, that's going to fully become a herb bed from now on. And what I'm going to do is move the lemon balm. That's going to go into the herb bed. I've also seen some beautiful looking Vietnamese coriander. The foliage on that just looks stunning, so I want to put some of that in. And then a couple of interesting ones. I want to give bergamot a go, and also some chamomile. And obviously you can then have some chamomile tea, and bergamot has its uses as well. So that is those parts. So like I said, there are a few gaps in that plan, and that's because some things might come up and I might want to suddenly go for it, and might see something online and think, yeah, I want a bit of that, and start adding that into the mix. What I haven't put on the plan, because my drawing skills aren't quite up to that, is the aforementioned sweet peas that I've sown at home are going to be going in here, and I've got 3 different varieties from the floral project, and I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but I've got 3 gaps between each of my raised beds, 4 raised beds, so 3 gaps to make some kind of arch for each, and I'm thinking that's going to look really beautiful just sort of against the roadway there. So I'm really excited for that to happen, and fingers crossed, like I say, it all comes to fruition and works out all right. And then we've got the polytunnel, which still needs to be put into place. No work has been done. Like I say, the weather's been awful, but in that we're hopefully going to have chilies, we're going to have some tomatoes, hopefully some peppers, like your red and green peppers, and then I'm gonna get some basil and things in there, some complementary planting. So basil and tomatoes I've heard work really well. I don't know if that's the same for peppers and things. If you know a good companion plant to stick in there for chilies and for regular peppers, then please let me know. So I'm really looking forward to growing all of this and then eating all of it. It's going to be a really exciting year. So last year I had some trees out of the allotment, but it was mostly potatoes, and I really enjoyed those potatoes. But this year it's going to be wonderful to have such a variety. And whilst we're on the subject of eating, the Eco Book Club, which I run, yes, I've got a lot on my plate. This month is covering books all about foraging. So we each month select 2 books. So we've got 2 books on foraging at the moment, and you can read both of them if you're adventurous. You can read one of them, or you can skip it and read none of them. It's entirely up to you. It's fairly open, but we are a Facebook-based community. However, I like to post things on Instagram as well, and you're more than welcome to have a look at my Instagram. It's down in the description, as with everything. So yeah, like I say, this month we're covering foraging, which is something that I've never done at all, but is something that I really want to learn about, even if it's just sort of picking berries as I'm out for a walk and things like that, just knowing what I'm not going to poison myself with. It's going to be super useful. Last month we looked at a couple of books on rewilding, and next month we're looking at sort of nature and mental health and well-being. So a couple of exciting things to look at. So more than welcome to join if you'd like. So I'm going to call it a day there. Feel free to drop me a comment down below letting me know what you think of my plans or what your plans are. I'd love to hear what you're going to be up to. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell as well, and that way you get told when videos get published, because sometimes I like to publish them at random times. Smashing that like button if that is what you're into. You can just tap it as well rather than smash it, and YouTube is going to recommend a video for you to watch next if you haven't watched it already. By all means, feel free to just binge watch through my content. It's quite a nice sort of diary of how the allotment has progressed over the course of the past sort of year and month or 2. Anyway, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, look after your plots, have a fantastic week. Cheers.